Greetings. So I did this video on why I'm not religious, and I talked about how copper colored people are supernatural people. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about, because I've been asked this question so many times. I've been asked about magic and why, copper colored people are afraid of magic, or are afraid of like divination systems like tarot, and why copper colored people don't believe in healing and hands-on healing and all of those things that are sometimes classified under metaphysical, and those things that are classified under occult. Why copper colored people are afraid of it, and the reason why copper colored people are afraid of it is because we don't understand it. And we don't understand that it is a part of our natural inheritance. That these are systems that we used as tribal people. We always had a shaman or a wise woman or medicine women or medicine men, or what they call wizards or witches. We always had that ancients who carried knowledge about spiritual things, soul things, and who understood herbs and what herbs to use. And it wasn't always that they learned which herbs to use by default or by accident. It was inner knowledge, that inner knowledge that's passed, that you're not connected to yet. There's that inner knowledge that's passed generation to generation, ancestor to ancestor. And that's why it's so important for us to reconnect with our ancestors, to be able to gain access to that information that is inherently ours. It belongs to us, right? Now, I'm not proclaiming that every system of magic or divination like tarot and other systems of working and healing and energy and seeing and all of that stuff. I'm not saying that they came from us. But what I am saying is, as a tribal people, we also had access to those things. So we always had a seer, or someone that we went to that could see the future or see the past, or have a connection with an ancestor that had transitioned, right? We always had those people. We had people who interpreted dreams. We had people who read bones and things like that. So we've always done this, and we've always been this, and it's only the religion, right, that has separated us from our own practices that promote abundance and health and happiness, right, and wealth. But we don't do it, and we're afraid of it because their system that they used against us. And I'm not saying it's not a good system for them. It's just not ours. Their religion is theirs, good, bad, or otherwise. It's not ours. And so we must return to our supernatural ways, intentionally supernatural. Not that we manifest on accident, right? So you don't have to be afraid of gifts. And that's what mental illness is a lot of. People develop some kind of abnormality because they aren't able to use their natural gifts, their inherited gifts. And so it's like it turns into some kind of thing, right? And so people who have been diagnosed with ADHD or schizophrenia or bipolar disorder or all of those things, I'm not saying that there's not a validity to having a chemical imbalance in which you can't help that, but that's another thing. What I'm talking about is these natural gifts that we have, if not used, can become something else. It can look a lot like all of those other things. You know, schizophrenics are often diagnosed based on the fact that they hear voices or that they talk to people who are not there, right? Listen, don't be afraid of ghosts, right? Because they don't exist. Where did you get your concept of what a ghost looked like? But if it wasn't programmed into your mind by these stupid ass movies that always highlight some goddamn ghost looking fucking dead with arms off and blood all over the place and in a white sheet or nightgown. Casper the Friendly Ghost was a fucking ghost, and yet you're afraid of ghosts because you think that they look like that. I have talked to many copper-colored people who have seen their ancestors after they transitioned. And they didn't come back to them as some kind of goddamn ghost with arms and legs missing and, you know, evil and coming to capture you and take you to the other side. They didn't. Your ancestors love you. They got your back and they protect you. They would not present themselves in a way that would make you afraid. And every person I talked to that said that they saw that person, or they saw their loved one come to them and sit and talk with them, they weren't afraid at that time. Now they became afraid later because that mind clicked back into that old programming, right? But at the time they felt at ease and even comforted in some ways. Sometimes there was a warning that needed to be conveyed in a way that would capture your entire focus, right? Don't be afraid of hearing things, because your ancestors speak to you however you are comfortable, unless there's an emergency. So you don't have to be afraid of ghosts or hearing your ancestors or being connected to ancestors who've gone on, because we all are. We all are connected to our ancestors, right? We are their energy and they are our energy. Tarot is just a way to focus in on your natural intuition. Supernatural people have strong intuition. They program us not to follow it, to our own demise. But we have strong intuition. And sometimes, especially in the beginning of developing your connection or allowing your connection to your natural gift, sometimes you need something that can focus you on it, right? And so you might use cards, you know, like I use tarot cards. I use runes. I use a pendulum, right? Those are things that just kind of connect me in and in some ways make me feel a little bit more comfortable, because I don't need those things, right? But they help me to feel a little bit more connected, even though I'm deeply, deeply connected, and I don't need them. I can just start reading people because I just click into their energies, into their ancestors' energies, right? So don't be afraid of using a ritual. You know, lighting a candle is a ritual. You know, you have that anniversary, you light the candles. You have a birthday, you light the candles. You think you're lighting the candles to your years being on the earth? No, you're lighting the candles to your ancestors or to theirs, right? Because they'll tell you don't believe in all of this stuff. They'll tell you stay away from it. And the only reason they tell you that is because we are supernatural. And as soon as we click in, the power that comes through, even when we're not as experienced as we will be. Unbelievable. So don't let it be that you're afraid of tarot because they told you tarot was a sin and it was bad and some bad things that happen to you if you use tarot and you don't, you know, all of that, or don't pick up runes or don't. That stuff is so natural to us. We pick it up and we pick it up really quick. It's natural to us. Don't be afraid of it. And if they tell you about something you need to be afraid of, really, really think about that. Really think about it. Because they're trying to keep you away from it so you won't embrace who you are. How many times, I know this happens all the time with mothers and their children. I've seen so many accounts, read so many accounts of that mother knows when something's wrong with her child. You can't tell her that there's nothing wrong when she knows there's something wrong. We accept that, right? But don't you understand it goes so much deeper than that? Your connection to your ancestors allows you to feel what they feel, impacts, hear what they're saying. What is it, clairaudience? See their presence, the energy that they come in for you. And clairvoyance, to be able to travel backwards and forwards, looking at the future and the past. All of those things that they tell you. You're supernatural people, and when you're connected to your land, which is here, you're even more powerful. So it is in the best interest of every other culture to make sure that we stay disconnected from our magic. It's in their best interest. Why do you think that it manifests itself as if all other cultures hate us, including Black people and African Americans? It's because it's in their best interest. Oh my goodness, they have a knowing that if we connect into our magic, if we connect in to our ancestors, if we connect into our land, they know what'll happen. Change. And they are so afraid of it that they keep pushing you, conditioning you, brainwashing you. They show you stories on these superhero movies, right? Don't be fooled by the color of the character, right? Wonder Woman was an Amazon. Last time I checked, Amazons were copper color. Not olive, copper. And all of them are more powerful when they are connected to their own land. Superheroes, I mean. Because they're telling your story, supernatural people. Well, except Superman, but he's strong because of our sun. Because supernatural people know that the sun and the moon is the same thing. So of course it's powerful because it connects into the light and the dark. Because we know that those are the same thing. Of course he would be more powerful, coming from a powerless world to a very powerful world. On his own world, they had to be powered by some kind of stones. Superman came here to these lands and was powered by our sun. Don't be confused about this stuff that they present. It's presented, but just flip the script. Imagine that it's copper color, people, because that's what it is. Don't be afraid of your magic. Don't be afraid of healing. Let me tell you something. When a mother lays her hands on her child, that's healing. It's coming from her love. When you lay your hands on your significant other, because they're not feeling good. When you give a brother or sister a hug because they're sad or tired, that's healing energy. That's you passing your energy to that other person to make them feel better, to heal them. That's energy healing, Reiki, quantum touch, hands-on healing, all of it. We do it automatically. Just think if we did it intentionally. Don't be afraid of your magic. And don't let anyone tell you to be afraid of your tools. Don't let them tell you how stuff gonna look so you're afraid of it. Stop watching them horror movies. They stupid anyway. Be unafraid. Connect with your ancestors. Connect with your magic. Connect with your land.